Well, welcome to today's conversation. I'm sitting down with Autumn Williamson, the heart and hands behind Dairy and Dough Company LLC. Got that right? And she is a
Yeah.
mom. She's an entrepreneur, a baker. She turned her love for sourdough into a thriving business that's all about community, creativity, all that good stuff. I'm going to let her tell you guys a little more about her. She makes really good bread and all kinds of other goodies. And I just wanted to talk to her because she's a mom entrepreneur, and that's me, and that's a lot of you out there. I just
Yeah.
hope that there's something we can learn from her journey. So thank you, Autumn, for being here. And can you just share a little bit about yourself, please?
Yeah. So I started this about 2 years ago at the most random point in my life. My son was about 9, almost 10 months old, and sourdough was like a real big thing, and everybody was very excited about it. And I was like, it's all right. Well, I'm sitting down with my son, and we're eating these applesauce pouches, and all of a sudden, I'm like, these taste really bad. So curiosity, killed the cat at this point, and I cut it open, and it was full of mold.
Oh my
That
gosh.
scared me as a new mom, just the fear because my son had finished his. So now I know that he's ingested all this mold. And I just panicked. I broke down crying. I was so upset. My husband came home and everything toxic in our house was gone. Um, and I was like, I don't know what to do. And he was like, see if you could do sourdough. Like, how fun. And I was like, okay. And I killed 100 starters, a
Yeah.
hundred of them. I've killed so many of them. And everybody always asks me, they're like, oh, like, did you buy yours online? No, I have fully made mine. Her name is Stella. Um, and it's kind of funny because every time that, I replenish her, do something, she loses a letter. So currently her name is Ella. And everybody always asks me, oh, how's Ella doing? How's Stella? And it's kind of fun that everybody gets involved. But it just became a hobby and like a labor of love to give to my neighbors like fresh bread and being able to eat something that was just so it just felt good. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Just
Hmm.
felt really good. So I
Yeah.
started with that. I grew up in Egg Harbor Township. I went to Summers Point High School, which was really cool. And my husband and I have been together since we were 19. So we've hit the ground running.
Sounds like it. That's so
Yeah.
cool. I love that. And the applesauce thing is like blowing my mind. That's so scary. I'm going to be cutting open all my packets from now on and like putting them in bowls because
Yeah.
you're right. And we didn't have an experience like that. But I think just a similar, like knowing what's in the food is one reason a lot of people do that. And it was cool that your husband encouraged you to do that, right? Because it was kind of like
He
a joint
did.
effort there. Yeah.
Yeah. And I started making pretzels, actually, like
Oh.
sourdough discard
Mhm.
pretzels. And he was like, Autumn, these are fantastic. Like, and he was bringing them to work. He works with his uncle, like, just by himself.
Mhm.
And he was like, Autumn, these are so good. Like, I don't know what you're putting in them. And I was like, just love, like trying to be
Aw.
funny. And it just snowballed like crazy. And everybody's like, where can I get pretzels? Where can I get bread? Where can I get this? Where can I get that? And then it just took off. And here we are 2 years later, thriving the best we can. We moved out of my kitchen and into a bakery, which was awesome. So,
Nice. Okay. That's awesome. Yeah, because there's a lot of moms that have like passions or hobbies or just something they're really great at, and everybody's like, oh, this is so good. You should do something with it. And a lot of times we're just like, oh, it's not that impressive, right?
yeah.
Because we think we know it, but other people would pay for it, obviously. So can you just expound a little bit upon like what was the turning point? Like you said, your husband kind of encouraged you to do it, but what made you decide to go all in rather than just making it for your neighbors, making it for your husband to take to work? What made you think like, okay, I have something here. I can turn this into an actual business.
So that's actually kind of funny. The turning point for me was 100% my first market. So my first market was a little hole in the wall market that nobody really knew about. They were looking for just little vendors, anybody. I messaged the lady and was like, "Hi, I think I want to do this." And she was like, "Okay." So I signed up and my husband comes home and I'm like, "Guess what I did today?" And he was like, "What did you do today?" And I'm like, like what happened? And I said, "Well, I signed up for my first market." He was like, "You did?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "It's going to be awesome." And he was like, "You're not even licensed. Like, what are you doing?"
Okay.
And I was like, "Well, it's fine. Everything's fine. It's okay." And he was like, "No." So then we panicked because the market was in a week. So I panicked. I got all of my licensing, everything done in the matter of a week. And I sat at my first market and didn't sell a thing, not one loaf of bread.
Wow.
I was devastated, just devastated at, but I really thought people liked it. I really, really did. And my husband and I sat down and he was like, it's okay. Like, we'll just do it again. It's okay. He's like, just try one more time. And the next market I did, I sold out in under an hour.
Wow.
So I just look at it, like a grace from God of just continuing to, you know, do it.
Persevere. Yeah.
Yeah, it was absolutely wild to me of just the turning point for me was incredible because if I were just to give up, I wouldn't be here even with you today.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, and now I have,
Yeah.
this other income that helps our family and continues to let me be in my son's life and do, markets and things and meet all of my great friends and it's awesome just the snowball effect from that first market. And I am just
Hmm.
honestly grateful for all of it.
Yeah. And just like you said, the perseverance, like the pushing through. And because you knew like you said, you knew people liked it. You knew you had
Yeah,
something. And that's the key. I always talk about like finding your ikigai. And I don't know if I'm saying it right. It's a Japanese term. Are you familiar with it?
I'm not, no.
So it's I just learned about it like a year ago and it's so cool. So ikigai they call it the reason for being or the reason for waking up in the morning. And it's where
Well,
what you love, what you're good at, what people need and what people will pay for all intersect. And you knew you had that, right? And so you
yeah.
just kept pushing and I think that's amazing. I love that story. Thank you for sharing that with us. So cool. What has been like the most surprising or like unexpected part of your journey so far? Like what has kind of maybe thrown you for a loop or just really blown your mind?
Honestly, the support, if I'm being 100% honest with you, it's incredible to just have value in something that I felt so much value in, like from other people. It's the support and the constant, flow of everybody. And I make it a point for myself to just be like, hi, I'm Autumn. I am Darian Doko. I make the bread. It is me. And I think that really, it really sets myself apart from other people because I notice like even walking around markets and not
Mm.
being in a vendor, people don't say hello.
Yes.
They don't say hello. They're not very like personable. And even if you just say hi back, that's
Hmm.
all I want. I just want to say hello. I just want to be nice to you. And I think, meeting all of my friends through doing vendor events has just become incredible. I have a friend, her name is Jenna, and she does flowers. And we were at a market and it was so silly. And at the end of the night, I literally walked up to her with a loaf of bread. It was the last one I had. And I was like, hi, I'm Autumn. I think your work is beautiful. Here you go. And she was like stunned that I even said anything. And it's it's great because her and I have just become really great friends in the last 6 months. And it just started with a loaf of bread. And I feel like if I can get a loaf of bread into your hands, it's like extending my happiness. You know what I mean? Like it
Hmm.
extends myself to you to share with your family and share with your friends. And it's just incredible of, of the support, I think, is what's really surprised me the
Mm.
most. Because I never expected an Harry and Doko to be this big thing. Like I go to places and everybody's like, hey, you're the bread lady. And I'm like, that's me. Like I get so excited
Yeah.
just knowing I made an impact on somebody. Even if it was,
Mm.
hey, you want a loaf of bread? Hey, you want to try this? And that's all I can do is offer my hand to somebody. And I think that's really what's really surprised me, honestly.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's really smart. The networking, just saying hi to people, being so personal. Because you're
Yeah.
right. I have been, me and my daughter go to yard sales religiously, like every Saturday, like I
Yeah.
told you. And sometimes we happen upon vendor events or vendor events slash yard sales. And we
Yeah.
always look because I'm like, you never know what you're going to find, right? And you're right. That is missing that little bit of personalization. I mean,
Yeah.
I see people staring at their devices, even if it's someone who does maybe crocheting. Like, yeah, they're sitting there crocheting, but look up and say hello, greet. people
Yeah.
walking by, because 9 times out of 10, you're going to pull them into your table, right? And
Yeah.
even if you don't make a sale, you're making network, connection, community. And you never know where your next best friend is going to be. It only takes one person to change your life. You could meet somebody who has a network of how many people, right? And it connects you
Yeah.
to this whole, and it changes your entire life. It changes their life. So you're right. Like that is, I know that you're going to go far with that attitude
Yeah.
and that outlook and what you're doing. That's
Thank you.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just great to feel so personal to people. And like, if you know me personally, I am a very introverted person. Like, my circles are small. My families are small. And when I'm at an event, I am so personable. I'm, hi, hello, how are you? I'm Autumn, nice to meet you. And I'm so outgoing. And it's funny because when I first started, I was telling my husband, he's like, you're so outgoing. And I was like, yeah. I said, I have to make this work. I have no choice. This is what I'm meant to do. I have to make this work.
Mhm.
If I have to get out of my bubble and just go and then go home and just hermit, that's fine.
Yeah. Recover.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's the attitude. The I have to make this work. I'm not going to stop, not going to give up.
Yeah.
Yep. So, speaking of your husband and your son, how do you feel like juggling having a business and a family all goes together? Like, how do you feel? What does that look like to still be present with your family and be there and making it work with your business?
So I make it a really good point to just take time out of my day. I learned that I can use different apps. Like, there's so many tools to build your business without staring at your phone. Facebook has this whole tab underneath that it'll just automatically post for you. So I'm not staring at a device all day. Actually, Sundays, once Jackson's napping on a Sunday, or even Saturdays when I have a minute and my husband is home, I sit down and I make every post for the week. Like, I'm not sitting at my phone typing away. I make every post and then I schedule it.
Mm.
So I make it a point to, take time for me, take time for the business, to make sure, the finances in order and all those things are in order when he's asleep or I'm up late at night or things like that, because the anxiety of running a business is a lot. But
Mm.
I also look at it as I get to spend time with my son. I don't have to have, a stranger raising my son. I get to do it. I get to be, the focus for him. And when my husband comes home, he is dad mode. He is 100% dad mode. And it is incredible to watch him be a dad and watch Jackson just be so excited that we're home. I would feel horrible missing those moments. So
Mm.
to me, balancing those things and continuing to be a mom and be personable and be involved is more important to me than leaving my son. So I make it a point to just be there. Even if, some days are harder than others, 100%. And some days he wants to run around and play. And I'm like, hey, buddy, like, I really have to do this right now. And I'm like, okay. And actually, we've implemented, which is funny. I'm like, hey, mommy needs 5 minutes. And he's like, okay, I'm going to go play my toys. And I'm like, okay, I will be there in 5 minutes. And I put a timer on for 5 minutes. And then once the timer's up, I put my stuff down, even if I'm not done. I made a promise to him to be there when the timer went off and just set myself and the business apart, but also be together in the same
Mhm.
sense. You have to be able to put it down. That's the hardest part, I think, is trying to put it down when somebody needs you, because he's still really
Yeah.
little. So I do the timer method and it helps him a lot and it helps me a lot to just be like, okay, let's shut my brain off. We can go be a mom. Let's do those things and make it a point to just be there when he needs me.
That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I love that. Put it down, because that is so hard for some people, especially again, mom entrepreneurs. Like we're in like these two different worlds, or maybe even three, multiple different worlds. We wear so
Yeah.
many hats, and you're right. Like and I don't know if there is such thing as true balance. There's seasons though, right? Where we go like
Yeah.
sometimes we're hustling a little harder, and then sometimes we're like family mode more, and we have to kind of
Yeah.
find that sweet spot. I love the timer idea. That's really smart. We
Yeah.
use that for cleaning sometimes just to motivate the kids. It's like, well, you don't have to clean all day. You can just do it for
Just,
this frame,
yeah.
right? And that's so cool. So your story like shows that balance is going to look different in every season. Everyone's going to be at a different
Everybody's,
point in their
yeah.
journey. And it sounds
And
like support is a big one
it is,
for
and
you.
my
Yep.
husband is 100% my number one cheerleader, like through the whole thing. And it's incredible to just see how excited he is. He's excited when I'm excited. Like I
Mm.
make, a fresh loaf of bread and he's like, "It smells great in here. Like, what did you make?" And I
Oh,
just am so excited to just show him, what I did. And I bake in the middle of the night. And he, gets up and he's like, "Hey, how's it going?" at 3 o'clock in the morning when I'm at the bakery. And I'm like, "It's good. Thanks for checking." He's like, "Okay, I'm glad you're doing well. I'm going back to bed." He encourages the risks. He encourages the new, I should say. He's like, "Keep going. Just keep going, keep pushing, keep fighting." You know, it's hard, but he helps a lot and he makes it work. So,
yeah, and you're right. And I mean, I think risk was the right word, right? Because especially with business, when we're trying something new, like obviously we don't want to do something like out there and crazy, but sometimes we do have to take a risk. Like even just saying hi to someone at a vendor event, like you were saying, or
yeah.
maybe investing in something or trying a new recipe and you're not sure if it's going to work out. Like, yeah, there's risks, but there's also greater the risk, the greater the reward, they say. So
Yeah,
I love that you have that support. I think that's so key. There's a lot of people that don't and they still make it work, but it's just a blessing to have that as well.
it
So,
is.
what advice could you give to moms who are trying to find a rhythm between home and work? I love the timer advice. I love the put
Yeah.
it down advice. Like, do you have anything else that you would say to moms who are trying to get all that?
Start small and be messy. Like start small, be messy, don't wait for the perfection. Nothing is going to be beautiful in one night. Everybody's in a different chapter, everybody starts differently. My first event, I failed. I failed and I failed hard. It's not always going to be great. And then in the last 4 months, I've had 7 sold out events.
Wow.
So if I gave up, it wouldn't be this beautiful thing. So I just share what you love, be authentic, connect, and just surround yourself with people that are encouraging you. But honestly, just be messy. Like
Mm.
it's going to be messy and it's okay. The
Yeah.
perfection comes from the mess.
Yeah.
Like
I love
there's an
that.
artist and his name is Surat the Dot. And I always, look at him because he actually made a mistake on a painting. And he became this guy called Surat the Dot. And now he makes dot art paintings
Mm.
because he messed up. And
I'm gonna have to
he
check that out.
incredible. He's a very, very older, artist, but just incredible that he messed up and now he's this big thing. And I just think about that a lot of the mess ups become the perfection. So,
Yeah, awesome. I love that. Have you ever made a recipe out of curiosity? Bonus question. Have you ever made a recipe or attempted a recipe and it turned into something totally
yes.
different? Can you tell
Yes.
me a little bit about that? I'm curious now. You got me curious.
100%. I tried to make chocolate chip cookies. If I'm being honest, I tried to make sourdough chocolate chip cookies and they were so bad. I don't even know what happened. They were horrible. They were crumbly. They didn't work. It was just, and I tried and tried and tried, and they just kept crumbling. And it was just horrible. So then I was like, you want to know what? I'm just going to stick to regular chocolate chip cookies. And if something is so simple as a chocolate chip cookie, you change the smallest thing and it fails. So, like with sourdough, if I, don't use enough water, it's dry. Like all of the loaves are dry. If I don't use enough flour, they don't hold their structure. If I forget salt, it doesn't rise. So, it's the smallest things matter, which is crazy to me because, like, with the chocolate chip cookies, I was like, what do you mean they're not working? Like, what do you mean? Like, they're chocolate chip cookies. What do you mean? And they were so bad.
Oh my
And
goodness.
yeah, my husband and I laugh about it all the time. He's like, "You're gonna make regular chocolate chip cookies at home, right? Not sourdough
Wow.
ones."
To the
And
sourdough
it was,
lady.
yes, yeah, exactly.
That's funny. Well, yeah, and that, but you did learn from that. You learned how precise it has to be, right? I've always heard because I love cooking and baking. I don't do it on a, professional scale like you, but I've always heard that cooking is an art, baking is a science. So like you said, you learned that you have to be precise with your things, and you wouldn't have learned that if you hadn't had some nasty chocolate chip cookies. So it was a good failure, right?
They
I don't
were
even consider it a
bad.
failure really, but
And
other
they
than the
were
fact you
bad.
trash can maybe. But yeah, it was a learning experience, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, awesome. So, community again, I want to touch base on that again, like both local and online. Like, what role has that played in your business? How did that help you kind of grow? Did you make any connections that actually kind of moved you along, or how did
Yeah.
that look like for you?
So at my first event, I met the Willow's Wisp women. Um, and that's the bakery I run out of.
Yeah.
So I met them. They have a little bakery in Salem. They're friends of mine now, and they opened a bakery and they were like, "Hey, do you want to move out of your kitchen?" And I was like, "Yes, 100% yes." And they're like, "Great." So I was doing their social media for a while, and it it was more of just like helping each other than anything. And there was so many other people that I've met, like the people at Dragon Village. They're incredible too. They, took a chance on me, and the women at Starlight Collective who let me put bread in their shop every weekend. Even if they're not super busy, they just let me be there. They promote me. They want me to be there, which is great.
Mhm.
I actually just met somebody who does, t-shirts, the little dragons and things. Her name is Colleen, and her and I have become, pretty decent friends at this point. And I've just networked for her because I know so many businesses, and she's a newer business. And in the last, few months, her business has taken off because of me. Like I have given her leads for other people who needed, t-shirts and things and all these kinds of other, random items that your name needs to be on. And it's incredible to watch the network that I built help other people build.
That's so cool. And you're right. So for moms in our audience who are dreaming of starting something, but they feel overwhelmed, they're not sure where to start, maybe they feel like their wheels are spinning. What's one small step that you could advise them to take today? Like what do you think would help them really get moving, get going?
Just start. Start and start small. And kids don't need perfection. So don't feel as though you need to be this top quality mom, because every mom has different days. Like some days I am top tier 100% mom, and other days it's harder. It's harder to be 100% mom. And some days I have to just be autumn, and that's okay. You have to just know the balance. And I didn't know the balance right away. It comes with trial and error.
Mm.
And some days it's, okay, buddy, we're gonna watch movies today because I need a minute and my brain is spinning. And he looks at it as awesome. I get to spend the day with my mom on the couch. I get to watch a movie. I get to have popcorn and hang out and just be with my mom. And that's what he sees. And then I look at it as, I was such a bad mom today. Like why didn't we do anything? Or, if we didn't go outside, we didn't go out of our pajamas. And he just looks at it as I got to spend the day with my mom. Like, and he doesn't care what we're doing. He just, hi, hi, you're so cute. We just got to spend the day hanging out. So,
That's so sweet. Yeah, this is our youngest. He's two. We have five
so
of
does
them.
Jackson.
Yeah.
Jackson's our one and
Uh,
only, and he's two. Well, he'll be
we will
three in
have to get
March.
them together for a play date sometime with
Yes.
bread. With bread.
I have bread. I have so much bread.
Oh my gosh, I love it. All right, so one more thing. What is next for Dairy and Dough Co? Like, where do you see this journey taking you and your family in the coming years? What is your projection? What is your prayer? What is your hope? Share that with us, please.
So it's crazy because I look at it as I just want to do bread. I just want to share it with the community and be with the community. That was my goal in this. And I feel as though like I have reached that. But moving forward, my big goal in life is one, to just be a great mom, and two, to maybe have my own bakery at some point, have my own bakery and open it to other moms and give somebody the chance that they gave me. And I just, want to be able to pass the knowledge or the startup that I got along the way to somebody else who is, a mom and just looking to do something fun. And for Jerry and Joe, it just looks like community and family to me. Like any way that that works out, I will be blessed under the sun. So,
I love that. So you're focused on the, like you said, community and family, and it's like you're just kind
yeah,
of, yeah, and everything else is just a bonus. And I think that's a really good way to look at it because a lot of people
yeah,
do get fixed on the outcome and they have this exact specific outcome that they want. And it's good to have goals, it's good to have a vision and all that. But
yeah,
like focusing on the things that really fulfill you and
yeah,
bring joy and love to others. And I think everything else just kind of comes together from that because you're giving, right? You're
yeah,
giving value, you're putting value by delicious bread and
exactly.
community and love out there. And that's going to come back to you tenfold, I believe. So that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Everything that I've done so far has just become a dream. Like having Darian Doko be a name that people recognize is so incredible to me because
Mm.
that girl at that first market was so sad. Like I didn't have a name. It was just autumn sourdough. It didn't have a name. It didn't have pizzazz. It didn't have a face. It was just me. And I am just so honored and excited that people know me and want to, you know, put my bread on their table and put me in their households and share what I think is fantastic with their family and friends. And I just really liked being part of whatever comes my way. And anything that has come my way and anything that will come my way, I'm just so excited for.
That's awesome. That's great. I love it. Well, thank you for sharing your heart with us. That was beautiful. And I
Yeah.
think even your dream of, being able to help another mom get her start, like I hope that that turns into a bakery and you giving her like a physical, but you've given moms today that start as well, if you, whether you realize it or not, you're giving them a glimmer of hope. You gave
Yeah.
them some tangible things that they can do, whether they want to start a bakery like you or whatever they want to do, right? Because you're
Yeah.
start messy, start small. Like you've given us so many nuggets of beautiful information. So I thank you for that. That's wonderful. And your journey is just an inspiration to moms who want to share, pursue their passion, be present with their families. And it's just been
Yeah.
encouraging to me. You've blessed me with this.
Thank
And
you.
I thank you for being here. And just, remember, you don't have to do it all at once. Just start messy. That's Autumn's advice. And I think it's beautiful. And yeah, is there anything else you'd like to add in closing?
Just, I am really, really, really blessed to have all of my friends and everybody at, Dragon Village and the Willow's Wisp and my friends who do flowers for Petal Pop-Up and, Sun and Fable who does all my book stuff with me and all of the authors that come and hang out. And it's incredible to just have a network of other moms and other women who do the same things I do.
Yeah.
And you don't start with everybody, but you will find them. You will find your community. And when they start rolling in, they start rolling in. And the village that you didn't think you have coming. So,
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, right? So yeah,
exactly.
I hope if for those listening and watching today, I hope that encouraged you to take the next step, regardless of how small it
Yeah.
is, how messy. So all right. Well, thank you, Autumn, again. You have a wonderful day and we will be in touch soon.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.